Hey guys, 460 style here today, and I'm going to be talking about what guns you should use for different hunting scenarios. If you're going hunting for birds, bear, moose, deer, and rabbit. But rabbit's going to be a little tricky because I don't have that rifle anymore. But just hang in there, and I'll explain it to you. Okay. So here we go. Since from being the Northeast in Maine, deer is popular, moose, bear, partridge, and rabbit. So the season starts with bear and turkeys. Actually, sorry about that, turkeys for you turkey fellas out there. But for me, I never been turkey hunting, so I don't. I might have a gun here for that, maybe. Um, but anyway, let's start with deer because since deer is so popular. So if I'm walking in the woods and if I see a deer, depends where you are, right? If you're in the woods, what would you use if you were in the woods? I'd probably use what? 12 gauge buckshot, uh, 7 millimeter, 30-06, or would you use something like a handy rifle 45-70? For me, if I'm walking in the woods, I probably would grab my 45-70. That's what I would probably grab. Because once you're in the woods, a lot of brush, heavier bullet, heavy caliber performs better than a lightweight caliber projectile like a 308, 7 millimeter, 30-06. 30-06 can go up to 220 grains, and that performs better than the other projectiles what 308 can offer and 7mm can offer. I'm saying those two numbers because I have a 7mm and I've seen videos online that showing bigger, heavier projectiles perform better in the woods if you have to shoot through some branches. Obviously, not 3-inch diameter branches, obviously, but through some twigs and some brush. So 45-70, not a bad option. Anything within 500 feet. Maybe not in the brush 500 feet, but 100 feet, 200 feet, 300 feet in the brush, 45-70 would be a very viable option. But anything equivalent to this in rifle form, 450 Bushmaster, 460, like my 460, even my 460, 8 and 3 barrel, maybe with open sights, not a scope on it, or maybe a red dot might be better. Be a little faster to find. But since this has a bigger opening than the scope has a bigger opening diameter versus my handgun scope. So, but I would be still carrying my 460 because I have a harness for it. So I would be carrying that, and I'd be carrying this in the woods. But if you don't want to carry a handgun, or you don't want to carry a rifle, the next thing I probably would use is probably maybe like, since I don't have a 12 gauge, I just have a break open 12 gauge. So, but it's just it's a single barrel. So I'd probably be using this instead in the woods. My 16 gauge. Excuse me for a minute. That has a magazine. It can hold 3 rounds. I don't want to put the bullets and gun in the same place here. So a magazine, 3 rounds. Put one slug, 2 buckshots, or 3 slugs. Maybe 1 bird shot. You see a bird. But this I probably would be using in the woods. Put on full choke with buckshot because it's adjustable choke here, from improved to full. Put on full. Put your buckshot, slug, and just put your bead on it and go for it. Depends how far. 150 feet, probably. 200 feet would probably be max on this in the woods, or even in the open. Even birds, 150 feet, 120 feet on the norm. So this would be pretty good in the woods. Basically any shotgun, any heavy caliber uh, round. And it doesn't have, it doesn't have to be a 460. It doesn't have to be, no, it could be a 444 Marlin, 450 Marlin, heavier gauge 30-30, maybe. That's popular. 30-30s are popular in the woods. I don't have a 30-30, so I have the alternatives. There's many alternatives out there. Again, your 10 gauges and your 16 gauge slug, 12 gauge slug, and all that stuff. But heavier bullet, 200 grains. You need heavier bullets in the woods, preferred. But if there's an opening, you got your 308 or your 270, whatever. Then you're gonna. So in the woods, heavy bullets in the woods, guys. Okay, heavy bullets, heavy bullets, heavy caliber. Because it's not designed to shoot far anyway, so that's where they perform the best in short range, rough stuff, short ranges. That's where these heavier bullets perform for deer. Moose, same application. Heavier bullets, short range. 12 gauge slug. I don't think it's the law to shoot 12 gauge for moose. You gotta use at least I think it's 223, 22 Magnum and above for moose. Imagine that, 22 Magnum. I don't know if they changed the law yet, but I wouldn't recommend shooting a 22 Magnum at a moose because you might just miss and piss them off. But that's the least caliber that you can use on for mooses, which I don't understand. It should be at least 243 and above. To me, the 257 Roberts and stuff like that and above. To me, anyway. But anyway, the law's the law. So if you want to go on the cheap side of things, go hunting in the woods. Again, $100 gun. You don't have to worry about scratches or dings or dents. I got a nice old rifle, military rifle, proven. Again, my dad shot his first deer with his Eddystone, 1917. Again, my brother shot a deer with the Eddystone, 1917. They weren't far shots, 200 feet away, but it's a viable weapon. These are viable, guns to go hunting with. They're cheap. They shoot. Make sure you go to the range. Put some rounds through here so you know what your gun does. Check the bore because these are older guns. You gotta want to check the bore on these. And again, cheap way to go hunting. Although it's not the best option to be in the woods with it, but if you have nothing else, you have a rifle for cheap, $100. So that's about, and you're still only allowed 5 rounds in these in Maine. Now you can't put 10 rounds in here. You only shoot 5 rounds. So if you want to go, if you want to go the distance, if you're in the field, this is my 7mm mag, 783 model. Holds 3 rounds. You're ready to go. Decent scope. Got the padding here, which is very nice, which I don't think it really helps that much, but anyway. It doesn't have that much recoil. It's more bang than recoil, but it's a 7mm mag. Shoots flat, shoots far, like a 270. A little more oomph than a 270. But again, we got a lot of 1 square mile of the clear cut from years ago. So a lot of game at the edge of the woods from the road. So you have to shoot a long ways. 800 feet, 1,500 feet. I wouldn't shoot more than 2,000 feet because now, if you never shot 2,000 feet before, how are you going to adjust your scope? Because there's not a lot of ranges and not a lot of people go in target practice at 2,000 feet. So get a viewfinder, a decent one, $300-400 for a nice one. Anything, 300 yards, 500 yards, 1,500 feet and less, something like this. You set it at 800 feet, put a notch up above the shoulder, and it should drop, and you're ready to roll. It should be there. So a gun, something like this, obviously, with the scope and Go to a range, dial it in as much as you can, find a field somewhere, shoot at least 500 feet, bring a milk jug, make sure you pick it back up when you shoot it. Obviously you don't want that stuff in the woods. But yeah, something like this, roughly. Again, this is a $300 gun. So, not super expensive, but it's still gonna, if you get it dialed in and not knock it around in your truck while you're in the back roads, then you'll be fine. And not knocking the scope off. But again, there's other options out there. This is just what I have, my 7mm, because it's a decent round for here, and it shoots flat and far. A lot of open field, a lot of potato fields. Although there's other rounds, 6.5 Creedmoors, which is popular now. The 338s, the little Puas and stuff. No, the 340s and the 300 Win Mags. But, there's a lot of options. But just, it's and they're all made for long range. So you can shoot these things all long range and stuff. So for long range, something like this. Excuse me, I got a person there. Sorry about that, guys. But anyways, something close to this rifle will work. Again, open field too. I mean, I'm not saying this is not a bad open field, but 500 feet, telling you 600 feet, you're looking for trouble after that. 45-70 is a heavy bullet. 1700 feet a second. It's not fast for an open field shot. You know what I mean? So it's fast for a heavy bullet, but versus my 7mm, that's 3,500 feet a second, 3,300 feet a second, almost double this. So just to compare apples to apples, there's not really apples to apples to compare. But if I was in the woods with an open shot at 300 feet, I'll take this any day for knockdown. Any over any other rifle probably in the world. I take this thing 45-70. It's a proven round. Especially if you reload, you can put a little hotter in here. As long as you don't put it in a lever action. If they're too hot, it's not going to work. It'll blow it up. Be careful. But in these type of rifles, they're pretty thick walled. They can handle the extra pressures. And there's other barrels out there you can buy, special barrels that are even more. You can put more pressure in them. But I don't try to test those too much. Just common sense stuff. So I'm not in any competition. If I'm going hunting for deer, it just needs to fall down. Okay. So, but besides that, 303 British open field, of course, war gun made to shoot. Open field for deer, for moose, bear. Very good. 303 British is like a 308. I mean, my brother shot his first moose with 308. It was 1,000 feet away, one shot. Went right through. So, and that was a reload too. And what can I say? It's a 1,300-pound moose. So, again, it's just 308. Yeah, but there's a 1,300-pound animal right there, 1,000 feet away, one shot, and it walked 10 feet. So it's powerful. So if you don't see any deer along the way while you're hunting, because partridge is open and rabbit is open during deer season. Partridge open today, October 1st. So let's talk about some partridge hunting here. If I'm hunting in the woods, obviously you want your buckshot or birdshot, but if I'm in the woods, bird hunting, my 460 is here in case I see a deer. Okay, put the gun down, 460, shoot the deer. If it's in a brush, 150 feet away, 100 feet, whatever it is. But if the mindset you don't see a deer all day, I'll carry my 460 here, bring my bird gun. So I got the best of both worlds. Or you put buckshot in here, but I'd rather use my 460 because it has a little more oomph. You got more velocity in, like I said, a larger caliber is better in the woods than buckshot. So, because you only got 8-9 pellets, and who knows where they're going. You have no control over it. At least you have control over your your one shot that you have. So anyway, so if I'm not worried about having a rifle with me while I'm in the woods, and I want to go bird hunting at the same time, so I'm not carrying a rifle and a shotgun here. 460 or 44 Casull, 44 Magnum even, you know, is good for that. 45 Colt, loaded up with the right rounds, good for deer for close range, 100 feet, you know, it's good. And so I'm not worried about deer right now. I'm going bird hunting. So now I'm ready for bird. Got my 3 bird shot here, size 4. That's what I use, size 4, Remingtons or whatever, Federals, doesn't matter. They're all decent rounds now. 2 3/4 inch full choke, and I'm good up to about 120 feet, 130 feet with my 16 hunting for partridge with this gun. Okay. If I'm not expecting a lot of birds, but I know there's some over there, I'll just bring a break, one shot. Good enough. But I know there's some birds there because after a while you know the area, so you know roughly how many birds or how many birds you missed the day before or last week. If there's nobody else that went there and got them, just bring your break, 12 or 16. Size 4. A 12 gauge I use size 6. A little too strong for partridge. Size 4 and these are just right. A little bit of distance and knockdown. Size 4. It doesn't say size 4 on the box, but I prefer size 4. If there's some brush, you can still go through it. So 16, viable option. So this one, best of both worlds. Put your slug and put your bird shot, as long as you know which one goes first. Obviously, first one's on your right, back one's on your left. So just make sure you know that, so you don't shoot your partridge with your slug or rabbit. Oops. So again, in the woods. These shotguns are just in the woods. So in the woods, might see a deer. There's some partridge. Might see a bear, maybe. You might see a moose, but you need a permit for that. You can't just go shoot a moose. You need a permit. You gotta be drawn. It's a lottery in Maine. So if you have a draw, just so happens, and you're in the last week of moose, I wouldn't be using this to go moose hunting anyway. But be using my 460 or my 4570 or my 7mm, no matter what. So, but maybe you might see a deer, but there's partridge or a rabbit. So this is what I would use right here. Just walking in the woods. I can still carry my 460. It's not gonna hurt me. You're 44, you're 44 Magnum. It doesn't matter. As long as you got a nice holster for it, it's comfortable. Like any of those, I would carry a shoulder harness for any of those 44 Magnum, anything. Because you start carrying the side, it kind of, to me, it impedes my walk. Here, it's always up front. It's here. It's not really in the way because you can hold your gun anyway when you're walking. Now when your hand's in your pocket, use the twirling your change around. But when you're walking, you carry it different ways so your arms don't get tired. You change arms, obviously, when you go hunting. Just make sure keeping the safe direction at all times. You change arms. You're walking and walking and walking on this tote road, logging road and stuff. So just, a lot of times I carry it like this. I just carry that down like that. Because now, when I'm walking down, because you carry like this ready all the time, military style, your arms are going to fall off. I know this is because you're always ready, but if you're walking back from your tote road, you just walk there because the odds of a bird being there. Deer will walk by for some reason. You walk by, 10 minutes later you walk again, there's a deer in the middle of the road that you never saw it the first time. For some reason, they run and they stop. It happens. So usually if you're walking in, when I walk in, I'm ready because hopefully nobody's been in the area already. No tracks, no car tracks, no footprints. Now I'm ready. I'll be like this throughout the whole time, or I'll be like this because at least it's close to here. You're walking in the woods like this. Now it's braced against your arm and your shoulder might get a little tired, but you're ready. Because by the time you do this to this, your arm's not tired anymore. The weight's off. Now it's on your bicep. So this is just straight pressure here, which is not too bad because you don't. I don't shoot. I'm not lefty. So carry like this, walking around. Then on the way back, on the way back I'd be walking like this. On the way in I'd be walking like this. Hopefully it's fresh. So that's what I usually do. Then I just put my bird shot in here. If I got my revolver here or whatever weapon I have here for close range stuff, which it's legal in Maine to shoot a game animal, moose, bear, with a handgun. It's legal. So in Maine it is. So, but again, walking through the woods, first in, hands on, ready. You're always ready to go, no matter what happens, forward, back, but on the way back, usually, you can be ready, but you just walk through there. And now you're walking to double the pace to get back to your vehicle so you can go elsewhere. But this is how I usually carry on the way back out, for the most part. But so for rabbit hunting, I don't recommend a shotgun all that much, unless there's like a lot of brush. I carry a 22 rifle. I had one. I traded in for something else. But 12 gauge a little strong. 410's right, but there's some brush. I won't go through. 20 gauge is decent with the right bullets. But again, here we are again. 16 gauge in the middle of the road. 12 is good. And you gotta use size like 7 or 6 or something. 4 just it depends how far. Obviously, you can't reach everything in distance. If they're in the middle of the road, dirt road, if they're in the brush, usually rabbits are in the corner with some brush there. Size 4, just aim on top of the head. Within 100 feet, aim on top of the head. So you don't want to shoot in the middle of the body because that's what you're eating. That's what you get when you eat a rabbit. It's the body. Partridge too. Aim for the head, or you try to put the bead on top of the head, and depends how far. If it's 100 feet, put it on top of the head. It'll spread, and 4 or 5 pellets will get it, and it won't ruin it. When you clean it, you're gonna have to take it out because you see where it went in and stuff. But for bird partridge, I mean, there's other viable options. This is just what I have. I know there's people out there that are going to say, well, I can use this, and this gun with this shell. Yeah, okay. That's your style. This is my style. And it's 460 style, all right? So anyway, but yeah, so there's plenty of bullets out there, different styles of bullets for different reasons. And, duck hunting, I don't have a gun for duck hunting. Maybe that 12 gauge, but that's old school. They use the semi-automatics now with a nice 20-inch barrel. Low recoil, and shoot. Turkeys, maybe my 16 gauge bolt action with buckshot would work because there's 3 shots. A little slower, but I mean, not to say that this wouldn't work. I mean, back in the day, that's what they had. There's break opens and double barrels that they used back then. So what to say that's not going to work? It's still going to work. It's just got to be a little bit closer. That's all. And excuse the bow and arrow stuff. I don't have bow and arrow. That's on my bucket list to do. I never shot anything with a bow and arrow. That's another viable option for many of game animals because they want to be up and close, and I totally understand that. Especially deer, moose. I don't think you're allowed to shoot bow and arrow for moose up here. I might be wrong. But I believe you cannot shoot moose with a bow and arrow. It has to be with a firearm. So, but yeah. So for turkeys, I've never been turkey hunting. Maybe one day. But for rabbit, 20 gauge be better. 410 if you're close. I don't have a 410, but 20 gauge, 28 gauge. 16 for these little smaller game animals. You don't want to overpower. It's too much. No, you don't want too much bullet for that because there's not a lot of meat on them, so you don't want to ruin them, obviously. So yeah, so that's a little. So I was gonna say a little rundown, but a lot of stuff I explain it qualifies for bear also. Bear's tough, got tough skin, got a lot of muscle, a lot of tendon. So 308, 30-06, something like that. Again, my 7mm, obviously. 12 gauge slug if it's close. My 45-70, perfect. Something in that range. 44 Marlin, and my 460 even. Sea bear 460. It's all. If they're all within 150 feet, 200 feet, any of those big calibers will work in the woods. Again, the bigger calibers work better in the woods when there's brush. So that's a little rundown of what little information and knowledge of what I've been through hunting and fishing. That's nothing I got to talk about. I can go a million miles on fishing. But as far as for hunting, that's my little way that I do it or go about it. Again, every terrain has its different reasons to bring different calibers in and stuff. So that's why it's nice to have a variety. For me now, when I'm going hunting for deer, I'm bringing a shotgun. Depends if I'm going for birds. Okay, I'm bringing a shotgun and my 460 for deer, because it's partridge right now and deer season is right around the corner. And right now, that's what I would, if I went hunting tomorrow and I know if there's a lot of birds in the area, partridge in the area, I'd bring my 16 gauge bolt action and I'd bring my 460 because I know I'm in the woods. If I know if I'm riding around and I'm just driving a lot of miles that weekend and there's a lot of open fields, then I'll bring my break open shotgun because we're not looking for partridge all that much. We're looking for deer, and there's gonna be a lot of open field. I'll bring my 7mm mag and my 303. Because open sight 303, you can still shoot 600, 700, 800 feet with that. I mean, that's what they're designed for. So that's not a problem there. And then anything further, 1,200 feet, 1,500 feet, that's where the 7mm comes in, because a lot of open fields, 1 square mile, tote roads and stuff. But so that's a little brief knowledge that for hunting for me. Everyone's different. Everyone has their own way of hunting, but just as long as everyone's safe and abide by the laws, then everyone is safe around. Make sure you check your background. That's number one. And check your background so there's no water or people in the background, houses especially. And just be safe, guys. It's a nerve-wracking time of year for a lot of people, a lot of homeowners. Game wardens are, they're nerved up because now that they know there's more weapons in the woods and more people. Not just weapons, people. People make mistakes, and that's the issue. People make mistakes. You have to focus. You got to be aware of your surroundings, and you got to know what you're shooting at, and make sure you see the whole animal. And you got to be aware. You have to be safe. And you guys, good luck in your season. And this is 460 style.